Hey everybody, and welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me again on Storytime. We're back here in Bloodborne and Yharnam. We're gonna go shed a bit more blood, go get a bit more beast mode, and yeah, it should be fun. Alright, so what are we talking about for Story Tim today? Story Tim will be about, I think, BlizzCon. It's the only only thing I can really think of at the moment. Having a bit of a blank. If you catch my drift. I don't know what kind of drift you'd be catching, but yeah, no, I think it'd be fun to talk about BlizzCon. In this episode, I will be talking about the first BlizzCon I went to, which was in 2015. So, a few things happened there that were kind of notable, kind of funny. Should be kind of fun to talk about while I'm dismembering werewolves, sort of shit like that. So, yeah, so I went to BlizzCon 2015 with Angie. Angie is one of my best friends, definitely my longest friend. I think I've known her since I was in kindergarten. We were both little wee babbies together. Little wee babby nerds. I think we've always been nerds. And one thing we've also always been is fans of Blizzard games, or Blizzard Entertainment. They're the guys who make Warcraft, Starcraft, Overwatch, that sort of thing. So we've always been fans of that sort of stuff. And definitely played World of Warcraft ever since it came out, both of us. And she played it to the point that she got a statue from Blizzard for it, which was pretty badass. So anyway, yeah, we've both been really big fans, so we figured, let's freaking go to BlizzCon. So we did, and it was really cool. Had a great time. On my way there, though, I had a stop in SFO, which means San Francisco Airport, and you gonna get the drop on me? Eh? I'll drop on you, old man. Think you could get me in a trap, Admiral Akbar? Not this time. So, I had to stop off in SFO in San Francisco Airport. Really nice airport. I like that one a lot. And, but, so anyway, sorry. Jesus, sorry. So I get on the plane, and sitting there waiting about 20 minutes or so, and you know, normally the plane's kind of up and running about 20 minutes after everyone's finished boarding. But we're sitting there waiting, and then the pilot captain gets on, and he says, "We're very sorry, everybody, but some issues with the plane, and we're gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to see if we can get someone in to fix it. So it's just gonna take a little longer, and then we'll get up off the ground and all this kind of stuff. Sorry for the inconvenience." So, you know, why not? Whatever. Fair enough. Certainly don't want to be up in the air with a busted plane. Boys. So anyway, sit there wait for, I think it was another freaking half hour. And still nothing. So the pilot captain eventually gets on the plane again and says, "Sorry guys, looks like it's actually a very, very major issue, and we're probably going to be here for another hour and a half." So I'm like, so, you know, it's, you know, a bit of a pain in the ass, obviously. So, and one thing that I learned while I'm sitting there for an hour and a half waiting for the plane to get fixed is that they don't turn the AC on. They don't run the vents or anything like that while the plane's sitting there not in operation. They only do that once the plane is ready to take off. So I'm sitting there full on swamp ass, like floating around in like a half-inch of water, and getting more and more miserable by the minute. The dude beside me, he looked like Clint Eastwood, and he got really, he'd had enough, so he pieced out off the plane and went and argued his way into a new flight. But I was like, I have no idea how to do that kind of shit. This is the first time I'd ever flown by myself, so I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna sit here and wait. Hope for the best. So, Yeah, it was about, I think it was about 2 hours or so. I was sitting there waiting to get off the ground. Finally did. Finally get to John Wayne Airport. And get over to the... But once I touch ground, I got a text from Angie saying that our hotel had been overbooked. So we wound up not being able to get to the hotel that we had booked. But I think it's a testament to how good of a person Angie is. Like, when it comes to dealing with people, she's incredibly courteous. Very, very kind person. Because she, like me, she's worked in customer service for a very long time.
You're a hunter, aren't you?
Yes, I am a hunter.
Well, do you know of any safe places?
Here? No. So anyway, I think because she handled it so well, because she was like, you know, I know you guys, it's a really busy time, you know, it's obviously, the hotel we were in was like almost connected to the convention center. So she was like, I know it's pretty busy, you guys are probably really swamped, and, you know, it's obviously a bit of a hassle, but, you know, I understand. And I think because of that, they were like, you know what, we're going to compensate you for a room at another hotel, nearby hotel. We'll shuttle you over there and we'll give you a bunch of taxi vouchers. So she's like, yeah, that'll do. So we got comped at a place, I think it was called the Lion's Head or the Golden Lion or something like that. It was pretty kick-ass. So we went over there and we get to our hotel, or I took a shuttle from the airport to the hotel. And once I get there, you know, we're both pretty bummed out. Angie had to miss the early check-in, so forgetting her passes, all that kind of stuff, and missed a bunch of stuff, but she got our goodie bags, which is really cool. So we're sitting there going through our goodie bags, and we figured we're hungry as hell. I was certainly hungry as hell. I hadn't eaten since like noon that day, and I got to San Francisco about 10 p.m. So, you know, hungry as shit. We're both kind of cranky. We're both tired, both hot. So Angie goes and orders pizza from Domino's. And man, Domino's in America, you guys have got your shit together. Like, oh, sorry. Bit of exposition here.
Well, if you once had got off your arse, you wouldn't be in this mess.
I just got here, lady.
You're obligated to help me, you hear? So what'll it be?
It's just like working retail all over again. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. I understand how this must be very frustrating for you. However, at the moment, at present, I am unable to... No!
No respect for the elderly is what that is.
Oh, yeah.
That little good you outsiders do. Go on. Admit it. You think they're all mad, don't you?
No, ma'am. I think you're frustrated, and I understand. Do you now? Do you know... Oh, this trick! Screw you. Take your shit. So anyway, yeah, man, Domino's in the States is badass. Like, in Canada, you get a choice of... Like, you don't get to choose your cheese. You definitely don't get to choose what cheese goes on the damn pizza. I think if you do, it's like, you get to choose feta. I think, but I think for the most part you really only get feta if you're getting like a pizza with like chicken on it or something. It's kind of like a default depending on what pizza you get. But like Domino's in America, it's like you get a choice like 5 different kinds of cheese, and on top of that you get to choose like 3 different kinds of crust, and man, more toppings and sauces. Yeah, you get to choose your sauces, like 5 different kinds of sauce, and like toppings, like holy crap. So we were feeling very carnivorous, so we got basically the most meat-filled pizza we possibly could. We're like, how many animal carcasses can we put on this damn thing, and let's get them all. So we did that, and we're pretty damn stoked. We're looking forward to getting our damn like crazy carnivore pizza. And there was another thing that was really cool we don't have in Canada, or we didn't at the time, I think we do now, but it let you basically track your whole meal. So it was like, you look on the thing and it's like, oh yeah, we're cooking your pizza right now. Oh yeah, we're putting it in the car. Oh yeah, the drivers took off. Your driver's name is Jose. His name was Jose. And it's like, oh yeah, Jose's like 20 minutes away. So we're sitting there watching and we're like, damn, it's really cool. And So we're going through our goodie bags, getting all excited. We're having a good time at this point. We're cheered up. Food is on its... What the fuck? Okay. Bye. Yeah, we're excited, and we get a page saying from Jose saying, "Sorry, I can't find your room," and but eventually he comes to the door.
Oh, a hunter, are you? And an outsider?
Yes.
What a mess you've been caught up in. And tonight of all nights.
Tonight of all nights? What's tonight?
To welcome the new hunter.
I'm a hunter. Yeah, that's right, I'm a hunter.
Prepare
thanks.
yourself for the worst.
I will. I'll give it a shot.
There are
I'll give it a try.
no humans left.
Aren't there?
They're all flesh-hungry beasts now.
Well, what about you and me? I thought we was human.
Still lingering about.
Oh, yeah. You
What's
got...
wrong?
Answer me some
A
questions.
hunter unnerved by a few beasts.
Oh, no, I'm having a blast.
No matter. Without fear in our hearts, we're little different from the beasts themselves.
Oh, is that right? Oh, yeah, best gesture in the game.
What are you still doing here?
Ooh.
Enough trembling in your boots. A hunter must hunt.
A hunter must hunt, eh? Well, then let's get hunting. So, she just gave me a gesture. And gestures in this game, they're pretty cool. They're these little things you can do. Mainly, you use them when you're, like, playing with someone, like another person online, or you're doing a duel or something. You can kind of, like, usually wave, and then you bow before a duel. And that's when, you know, or if you're playing with someone, you can point to shit or whatever. She gave me the best one, which is shake off cape. It's really cool now that I've got a long jacket, so I can do this. Yeah, you like flick the blood off it. It's so cool. So anyway, so Jose comes to the door, and another thing happened that you'd never fucking see in Canada. As polite as we are, man, we're not like this. So Jose comes to the door and he's like, "Oh yeah, we're very sorry. We messed up your order." And we're like, "Oh, that's all right." So we said, "So what we did is we actually made you a second pizza, and so we're giving you the pizza we messed up as well as the second pizza. So we got a pizza for free because they messed up our order." And we're like, "Damn. Okay. Like, how bad is this? How bad is this pizza that you had to like remake it and give us a whole brand new one?" And it turned out the only thing that was missing off of like the 8 frickin' meats that we put on this damn pizza was ham. Ham. Like the white bread of pizzas, or white bread of meats. So we're like, dude, you forgot ham? So we're getting a free pizza? Oh, it was awesome. We were like so stoked. It was like, it totally changed the rest of the night. We were so happy. So, and like, honestly, it's kind of a shame we didn't actually wind up finishing or even touching the second pizza. We were so damn full. And, but no, it was great. It was really good. We actually wound up leaving it for the cleaning crew with a note saying like, "Oh, thanks for being awesome." Oh yeah. Didn't I kill you? So yeah, it was really cool. And then from there, we wound up meeting with some friends of ours who we'd known for 7 years strictly through World of Warcraft. We never actually met them in person before. It was really neat. Never really thought we'd have this kind of opportunity, but we did, and we met up, and it was really cool. It was like, people always, you know, sometimes you'll hear people say like, "Oh yeah, it's an internet relationship." Okay, well, you know, don't forget to have a real relationship. And it's like, all right, you know, like we've known each other for 7 years, never actually met each other in person, and we met up at an IHOP just before we went to BlizzCon itself, and it was like we'd been friends hanging out every day for 7 years. It was like super effortless. We like hung out with each other, talked and joked and all this kind of stuff, and there was never that like, "Oh, yeah, I don't really know what to say." It was like we were just talking. It was really cool. It was such a great experience. And while we were at the IHOP, something of a internet celebrity wound up showing up. And there was this guy he's known in the World of Warcraft community as Red Shirt Guy. And he is called Red Shirt Guy. He's so named for his red shirt. And he became really popular because one year at BlizzCon, he went and there was a World of Warcraft developers discussion, or developers Q&A. So you could submit questions to to Blizzard developers and all this kind of stuff. It was really cool. And so Red Shirt Guy goes up there, and it was I think it was a lore Q&A, so it was like to do with the storyline of World of Warcraft. So he goes up there and he asks what happened to Falstad Wildhammer. Why isn't he because like in Ironforge, which is the city of the dwarves in World of Warcraft, there's a thing called the Council of Three Hammers, and it's 3 separate dwarven tribes or families. There's the Iron Dwarves, the Dark Iron Dwarves, and then the Wildhammer Dwarves. And the Wildhammer Dwarves are kind of like Celts. They're like very like blue woad paint, and they ride griffins, very pagan-y. They're like shamanistic and all this kind of stuff. Really cool. So Falstad was originally the leader of the Wildhammer Dwarves. I'm telling a story, dickhead. Thank you. Hey! So he goes up and he asks, where's Falstad Wildhammer? Why is he not in the Council of Three Hammers? And Chris Metzen, who wrote the majority of Warcraft's lore, and Alex Afrasiabi, who I believe designs a great deal of the content, both looked at each other, and Chris Metzen was like, isn't Falstad dead? And, you know, he's the writer of the lore. He should know. And Red Shirt Guy leans forward and he goes, no, yeah, Metzen says, didn't he die in I think it was the Day of the Dragon, which is it was a thing. A bunch of people died. And Red Shirt Guy's like, no, he survived. It was in this book and all this kind of stuff. And basically, he caught him fucking up their own lore. And so the crowd went just bonkers because, you know, you didn't think these guys were fallible, right? They're cheering this Red Shirt Guy on and all this kind of stuff. And Chris Metzen looks at Alex and he looks back and he's like, no, Alex looks back and he looks at the crowd and he goes, we're gonna fix that. Thank you very much. And they're not exactly happy about it, but everyone flipped the fuck out. It was the greatest thing ever. Everyone was so happy for this Red Shirt Guy. And so yeah, he became something of a little bit of a celebrity, like e-celeb. And so of course, lo and behold, who sits down beside us, like 5 feet from us, but Mr. Richard himself. And so I was flipping out. I was like, "Oh shit!" And I pointed him out, and Angie, Amy, and I were like, "Oh my god!" I don't think Rick quite knew who he was. I don't remember. I don't know. Anyway, we were all really stoked. But you guys, I know you're not fans of story time. You don't have to smack me on the bum while I'm trying to tell a story. So anyway. So we get to BlizzCon, and it was a grand old freaking time. We had a really, really good time. This was the time that this is the BlizzCon where they had announced Legion, which is the current World of Warcraft expansion, and everyone went nuts because it looked like such a good expansion, and it is a good expansion. Like it's been a very good one. But while we were there, they had the opportunity to test out the new class in the game, which was the Demon Hunters. And so obviously, I mean, you know, if you have that kind of chance, you got to take it. So we did. And Andrew and I sat down beside each other. We played the whole Demon Hunter starting experience, and it was a really good time. We had a lot of fun. And afterwards, after we were done, a little Blizzard employee told us, you know, okay, thanks for playing. Now that you're done, you can go over to the tables over here, and there's computers where you can leave feedback. So we're like, oh, cool. So we go and we get in the lineup for the computers. It's a pretty big lineup, but I mean, you know, we were taking it easy. Having a lot of fun. So, Ange and I go over and get in the line for a table. And there's this little kid. He's about 7 or 8. And apart from the Demon Hunter starting experience, you can do like a character creation starting experience, which is like start from the beginnings, because I think they've made some changes and all this kind of stuff. You can give it a try. So this little kid who'd never played it before went and, like, I think his parents both played because his parents were there with him. He gave the starting experience a try, and so he wrote it out. He wrote out his own little feedback thing. It was really cool. He was like, this is really adorable. So Ange and I are looking at each other like, no, little kid. But there's this one dude behind him, and he was like that guy, you know, like he was one of those dudes who just, he had to do his thing, and he needed to do it now. He had something to say. So he's getting all huffy behind this little 7-year-old kid who's just, you know, having a good time and all this kind of stuff. And he's getting all huffy, but he finally gets a computer. So Ange and I sit there watching him, and we're sort of looking over his shoulder to see what he's writing. And this guy, man, he's like, he must have thought he was like a game developer or a game critic or something like that. He must have thought he was king shit. Because, man, he was just, oh, the things he was saying, they just seemed so, like, entitled, you know? He just seemed so, like, well, you know, Blizzard's obviously fallen pretty far, and if it wants to actually maintain subscribers, it's going to have to do a lot of things to mend. Oh yeah, sorry. Look at someone that up his bum. I love that. Hi, piggy. Gross. So yeah, he was. Oh man, he was like, you need to fix these things, and this needs to be fixed, and if you don't fix these things, your company is going to fail, and all this kind of stuff. And we're just like, dude, just like chill out. And he's like, I'd also like to be able to customize the shape of the Demon Hunter tattoos and all this kind of stuff. And it was like, oh my god, oh my god. So eventually a computer opens up, and I gesture to Ange like, okay, you go for it. So I'm sitting there waiting, and I had this thing on my shoulder. Oops. Yeah, fuck you. I had this thing on my, and it was a plush toy of this little bird from World of Warcraft that got really, really popular really, really fast in the Warlords of Draenor expansion. Because there was this little orange bird called Pepe. It's not a frog, he's a bird. And Pepe was this, like, you'd find him and you kind of had to jump around and kind of do a little bit of creative jumping to get him, but once you right-clicked on him in World of Warcraft, he'd sit on your head for an hour. And you could get little costumes for him and all this kind of stuff, and, like, everybody just loved this little guy. So, ew, I'm covered in pig bits. But, so yeah, you could buy plushies of him at BlizzCon. So naturally I had to buy one. And one of the cool things about him was, you know, because he's known for perching on stuff, he had little clips for feet, so you could clip him onto stuff. So I clipped him to my shoulder bag, so I clipped him onto that. And he also had a little posable head or whatever, you could swivel it around. So I posed his head so it looked like he was staring ahead of me. So while I'm sitting there waiting for a feedback computer to open up, this lady walks by me, and she must have been, I think she was, you know, someone's mom, maybe. A bit of an older lady. And as she walks by, I feel a hand go up my back. And it wasn't like, you know, when someone comes up to you and kind of like puts their hand on your back and says, hey, how's it going? And it's a little more familiar than you like, but it's not like an invasive gesture. It's more like them just kind of like, they're just kind of handsy. This was like, she started from the small of my back and trailed several fingers up to the nape of my neck and was like, I like your pee-pee. So it's like, I'm pretty sure she was referencing the bird, but just the way she said it and the way she did it, I looked at her and she kind of like glanced over her shoulder at me too, and I'm like, Angie, I need an adult. It was later, dudes. You guys suck. See, I was like, it was just weird. I've certainly never had that happen to me before. Never really had to pull the whole, like, cosplay is not consent. Especially not with someone's mom. But no, it was pretty interesting. And I guess before we finish off for the night, for the show here, one last thing. Finally got to a feedback computer, and in the Demon Hunter starting experience there was this thing called a Fellbat. And it was the coolest shit ever. You ride one, but it's like kind of a cinematic kind of thing. But I was like, holy shit, I need one of those so goddamn bad. So in the feedback thing, for the most part, I was really positive about it. I was like, you know, I just love Blizzard games. I'm cool, whatever. You know, I was like, I had a lot of fun. But I said, Blizzard, I tried a Fellbat, and I want one. If you do not implement a Fellbat into this game, I'm going to riot, and I will incite others to riot. And I didn't really think much about it. I thought it was going to be cool. I thought it would have just kind of been left alone. And so the following BlizzCon, they announced class-specific quests, and these class-specific quests would reward a mount. And of course, what is the Demon Hunter class mount? A goddamn Fellbat. So yes, I just wanted to close off this little story time with a little bit of wisdom to everyone. If you want video game companies to do what you want, threaten them with mob violence. It pays off, damn it. So anyway, yeah, I'm here. I'm back in the Hunter's Dream. I'm gonna level up and upgrade my weapons, all this kind of stuff. And yeah, by this point, hopefully you guys will let me know if you like story time and if you want me to do more. If you got any other stories you want to tell, if you got any things you want to share with us. I mean, we're definitely going to read them all. I'm going to read them all, certainly. And our channel's small enough, I'll reply to all of you. I'll write you something nice. So yeah, write us something, write whatever. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to talk to this old man and see him about saw upgrade. So anyway, yeah, like, favorite, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. And have a good day, everybody.